Hello, everybody. How you guys doing? I just want to take the time to welcome you guys to our financial literacy overview. Today, we're going to share with you guys our 4 steps of financial freedom. My name is Keyon Corniffe. I will be your educator for today, and I have nothing but some great things to share with you and a lot of good things to start to teach. Just a little background about myself before we get started. I started this campaign in 2013, and I was just 23, turning 24 years old. And when I joined this campaign, I actually used to work 3 jobs. I was working 3 jobs from 3:45 in the morning to 11:30 at night, and I did that for about 5 years until I got introduced to this campaign by a cousin of mine. And I came down and saw an overview. I was very skeptical about the information. I was just like, wow, I wasn't quite sure if these people could help me. But I must tell you, in 2 years, I was able to go full time and started educating families and empowering them the same way they did for me. And I've been full time now since 2013 till today. One of the things that I was really excited about the fact that I started learning, and it was 2 things that motivated me to get started. Was one with my kids, and definitely my mom was a big motivation factor for me. But what kept me here is people like you. It's people like you that keep me here to continue empowering people and be motivated to keep giving the information to many, many families as they come. And that's why today I'm excited to share with you a little bit about how we're empowering families and what are some of the things that we're teaching. So just a little background about who we are as a company though. So our parent company is called Aegon, Aegon. See, Aegon is actually based in the Netherlands. They've been around since 1844. And one things that Aegon wanted to do is that they wanted to make a presence in North America. So they bought the company called Transamerica, which was founded in 1904 by a gentleman named A.P. Giannini. Now, A.P. Giannini is the same gentleman that created Bank of America. And today, Transamerica serve as our financial department. Aegon also went on about another company called World Financial Group, which is the marketing and distribution division of our company. And through this division, we are able to represent over 70 plus financial companies out there. We're talking about companies like the Prudentials, the Nationwide, the Voyas, the Gerbers, just to name a few of them. Now, the division that I'm a part of is called World System Builder. And World System Builder is pretty much our educational division. This is where we launch our national campaign for financial literacy in 2015 with intention to educate 1 million families by the end of the year 2020. Don't worry, I'm going to share with you what that looks like and where's our campaign today. But just since then, May 30th of this year, we launched a new campaign after we hit our first goal of 1 million. And we said we're going to do 30 by 30. 30 by 30 financial literacy campaign. You see, financial education isn't an option, guys. It's a necessity. And that's why World System Builder is committed to educating and empowering 30 million families by the year 2030. That's our goal. That's our mission. And the reason why we're doing this, guys, is because there's 3 major concerns families face. You see, families are facing what is known as a retirement crisis. And they're also facing what is known as an education crisis. They're also facing a spending crisis. But all these things are affecting us because we need to learn more about finance. You see, what we do is that when we sit down with families, right, we teach them finance 101. We show them how to save their future. And saving your future requires you to learn the basic principles of how to build a strong financial foundation. So that's the reason why we invite people and families to come to our financial foundation educational program so that way they could learn through our free workshops. You see, guys, our National Financial Literacy Campaign is here to empower you. And just as a token for our empowerment, we also provide these books, what we call our Saving the Future book to the public. So that way they could learn more about finance. In this book, you learn about different topics on how to create a financial foundation. You learn about the X curve. You get to learn more about insurance and investments and many other topics. That's why when you sit down with the person that invites you today, they will make sure that you get a copy of this book so that way you can start empowering yourself so you can empower your families. Now, let me give you a little statistics of why we did what we did. You see, it was according to a recent survey where they said that North Americans are facing serious financial challenges. Now, as you know, North America consists of Canada and the U.S. But let's look at the U.S., what's going on in the U.S. Did you know that the U.S., the picture is even gloomier compared to Canada? Did you know that 33% or more than 77 million Americans don't pay their bills on time? Did you know that 39% carry credit card debt from month to month? Did you know that only 59% of adults say they have savings? Did you know worse? More than half now think it's acceptable to default on their mortgage if they can't afford to pay it. So when you hear these numbers, I want you to think to yourself, you think these numbers gone up or do you think these numbers have gone down? You see, the important things that we teach families is four things. We teach families four things. We teach them how to make money. We show them how to save their money. We show them how to grow their money. And more importantly, we teach them how to protect it. And for you to do this, it requires you to learn how to create yourself a financial foundation. This is the goal. Should be everybody's financial goal, to have a strong financial foundation. You see, it's like building a house. And you should start with a solid financial foundation and build it from the ground up. That's the reason why we teach families how to put together protection. You see, first you should have proper protection in the event of disability, health problems, or premature death. We also teach families about how to manage their debt management, because you should reduce your liability and get out of debt as soon as possible. We also teach families how to create that emergency fund. You see, you should set aside 3 to 6 months of your income to deal with sudden changes in your job or business, or to pay unforeseen accidents or repairs. And that's why it's important to understand investments. You see, you should actually save and invest for the long run. See, all these tasks should be taken care of as soon as possible. And that's why we teach families how to have a goal. You got to have a financial goal to win the money game. Now, with every great goal, it requires a great plan. And our plan is to help families to understand how money works. That's why we teach them the wealth formula. Now, what is the wealth formula? The wealth formula says money plus time plus or minus rate of return minus inflation minus tax. That equals wealth. You see, if you've never seen this wealth formula before, that's the reason why we're teaching you today. And today we're going to break it down for you. So that's why, yes, we're having this money talk. And you got to ask yourself these questions. Where is the money? You see, a good number of people always seem to have money problems. You see, most of the time, they're short on funds. And that's why Warren Buffett advises, don't save what is left after spending, but we must spend what is left after saving. So what we're trying to do is that we're trying to give you an idea that you got to start saving. But look at the thing. Let's break down the wealth formula. The first thing we're going to talk about is the money. So now, in order to find the money to start your wealth formula, you got to learn how to pay yourself first. You must set aside 5 to 10% of your income to save for the future. If possible, save 15% or more. I want you to treat it like a bill that you must pay, and pay it first, because that's your family's financial bill. Now, doesn't it make sense to pay your family first before you pay other people's bills? Your cable TV is not more important than your family's financial well-being, is it? That's why you got to learn to buy only what you need. And if you make these small changes, it will bring you big money. Did you know that spending is a habit and so is saving? What if you could make small changes to your spending habits and just start saving $10 a day? That would be $300 per month. And if you were able to save $300 per month at an 8% in over 30 years, you would have $447,000+. What if you was able to save $20 a day, $600 a month? That's actually 8% at 8% in over 30 years. You have $894,000+. Guys, you got to realize that time is money. And that's why we say that procrastination is the enemy of savings. You see, guys, that's why we got to also learn why it says plus or minus rate of return. It's because the magic of compound interest. You see, one of the most important discovery in finance is something called the rule of 72. And it's because it shows you how to calculate the effect of compound interest with a very simple formula. See, all you got to do is take 72 and divide it by the rate of return. And the answer is the number of years it takes for your money to double for you or against you. Now, let me give you 3 examples. Imagine you had 3 choices to invest your $10,000 at the age of 29. And you had a 4% bracket, or an 8%, or a 12%. Imagine that you're going to apply the rule. It will help you to determine how many years it takes for your money to double. This is where you use the rule of 72. So if you take 72, you divide it by that 4, it equals 18. That means your money will double every 18 years. And when you look at it, from 29 to 65, when you want your money back in your retirement years, that $10,000 only grew to $40,000. What if you got 8%? 72 divided by 8 equals 9. Your money doubling every 9 years. So from 29, your $10,000 would have grew to $160,000 at 65. What if you was able to get 12%? 72 divided by 12 equals 6. Your money doubling every 6 years. So from 29, your $10,000 would have grew to $640,000 by 65. So what I want to show you is that the difference between your $10,000 versus 12%, right? 4% versus 12% is actually a $600,000 difference. And that $600,000 is equal to a 20-year salary of someone who earns $30,000 annually. So what I want you to think about is the fact that you see compound interest unveils two types of people. It unveils people that understand how money works and they learn how to make money work for them. But it also unveils the people that don't know how money works and they end up working for money. We don't want that to be you. Now, we also learned about the fact that it says minus inflation on the wealth formula. And the reason why it's minus inflation is because inflation is the silent killer. You see, inflation is the rise in price of goods and services over time. And you see, when the price increases, that means your purchasing power decreases. For example, if the inflation rate is at 3.5%, your $100 today will only be worth $96.50 the next year. Did you know that inflation happens when a country prints more money than it actually earns? And the result is that everybody will lose some value of their money. That's why some people refer to inflation as a hidden tax. You see, inflation is a major factor to consider when you're building up your financial future. For instance, if you put your money in an account with a zero rate of return, the value will slowly decline in the long run. Did you know in the last 100 years, from 1914 to 2014, did you know that the U.S. inflation rate averaged 3.32%? Now, what does that mean for you? Let's say that you plan to retire with $4,000 as an income per month in today's value. Did you know that 20 years later, at a 3% inflation rate, you will need to have $7,224 per month to have the same purchasing power? My question to you is, are you prepared for that? But you also got to realize on the wealth formula, it says minus taxes. And it's because there's three ways your money get taxed when you need it. Your money get taxed now, later, or tax advantage. So where does your money go? Let's look. What we're going to do is that we're going to take a look at the following tax treatment on the different type of investment accounts in the U.S. Now, where do you put your money? Are you putting your money where 85% of the population put their money, where they put it in the tax now bracket, which is in their checking account, savings account, CDs, stocks, and mutual funds? Are you putting your money where 10% of the population put their money where they get taxed later, which is in their 401ks, 403bs, IRAs, SEP IRAs, annuities, and pensions? But are you putting your money where 5% of the population put their money, which is the tax advantage? Tax advantage vehicles are like Roth IRAs, 529 college savings plan, municipal bonds, health savings account, and life insurance and long-term care benefits. Now, what we're going to do is that we're going to break down what it means to get your money taxed now. You see, tax now means that any earnings from these accounts must pay tax for that year. For example, any earnings from your savings account, certificates of deposits, which is known as CDs, any dividends from your stocks or mutual funds and money market funds must be reported and pay tax. Then you have tax later. Tax later means that the money you put in is pre-tax, and pre-tax money deposited in an account is money that you have not yet paid income tax on, but you will definitely be paying taxes later when you withdraw it. These accounts are called tax deferred, and in the U.S., tax deferred commonly take the form of IRAs, 401ks, and 403bs. Now, what are the rules? Did you know when you begin to take your money out after 59 and a half, you will be taxed as ordinary income? But if you take the money out before 59 and a half, you will get a 10% penalty with a few exceptions in addition to paying taxes. Also, you can't keep your money there forever. You must start withdrawing it when you reach 70 and a half, or you will lose 50% of your income due to the fact that you forgot to do the required minimum distribution known as RMD. Now, due to the Secure Act that was passed January of this year, they changed the RMD age to 72 years old. And that's why a lot of us now today, we got to do our homework and know if that is actually so for many of us today. The next thing is about how does it mean to get tax advantage? Tax advantage means that you generally won't pay tax when you withdraw the money from your account. Tax advantage investment money is after tax money because you already pay taxes on it. So vehicles like Roth IRA, 529 college savings plan, TFSA, that's in Canada, and life insurance are popular investment vehicles that get tax exempt distribution. So what you got to think about is before or after. Should you avoid paying taxes now and defer it until later when you get old? Or should you pay taxes now and not worry about it in the future? The choice is yours. And that's the reason why we empower families with help them to understand how to create that financial foundation and understand how money works with the wealth formula. So the question that you got to ask yourself is, can you build wealth? Right? Can I build wealth with this type of knowledge? And that's why we help families to say, yes, you can build wealth. That's why retirement saving and wealth buildings are a numbers game. That's why we say money plus time, plus or minus rate of return, minus inflation, minus tax, and that equals wealth. And as you look at the wealth formula, it shows you a guide to build wealth. You see, guys, spend less and save more is what we say when it comes to the money. When it comes to the time, all we're telling you is number two, invest your money long enough to allow the interest to compound and for the wealth to potentially build up. And when it comes to the rate of return, the rate of return is very important what you receive on your money and against your money. And when it comes to inflation, you must understand that the money must earn a rate of return higher than inflation. And when it comes to tax, you got to look for investment vehicles that give you tax advantage, and that will help you to build the wealth that you desire. So guys, and it's all said and done, you also got to look at the fact that when building your future and making financial decisions, right, you should ask yourself these questions. Number one, you must ask yourself, can it potentially grow to achieve my goal? And number two, is it safe enough? And number three, does it have tax advantages? And number four, does it have proper protection? These are four questions you must ask any financial professionals when it comes to your investment. And if they tell you yes to each of these questions, you must ask them how. And that question will help you to have a better understanding. So guys, if you have a good answer to each of these questions, then you're likely moving in the right direction towards your goal. You see, growth is good, but managed growth is way better. And that's the reason why you must know what you need in order to build a proper financial foundation. You see, the Formula 1020 is a really great tool concept to learn. And that's why it says our article in the Financial Analyst Journal suggests that Americans need to save more, not just a little more, but vastly more to be assured of having enough money for a comfortable retirement. Did you know they advise you to have 22 times your annual income by the time you retire? Thus, if you make $50,000 a year, then your target retirement number should be $1.1 million. So my question to you is, how on track are you to have $1.1 million right now? You see, many people today will live long lives, some to the age of 100. So the need may be much bigger than we normally thought. So to simplify things, you could round down that 22 times to 20 times your annual income for your retirement. And as for protecting your family, many financial professionals like ourselves suggest that you need to have at least 10 times your annual income in order to meet the insurance need for your family. So let me give you an example. Let's say that you make $50,000 a year. Then the life insurance needs to be $500,000. This is the amount of money that would allow the surviving spouse to take care of the children for the next 10 years or more, giving him or her enough time to make that transition of you passing. So if you die too soon, you need to have 10 times your income in order to, have enough in place. But if you live too long, you would need at least 20 times your income to have a comfortable retirement, and plan for the future. So that's why we ask people all the time, is money controlling you or do you control your money? Because with our Financial Foundation educational program, you will learn how to do the following things. You will learn how to make money work better for you. You will find and save more money. You will understand investment and how to build wealth. You will learn how to protect and preserve your money. That's the reason why we provide workshops, free workshops every day, Monday through Friday, in the daytime and in the evening. And you get to learn how to increase your cash flow, how to build a strong financial foundation. You learn about asset accumulation. You learn about retirement planning, wealth preservation, building wealth, proper protection, and debt management. Guys, let me tell you something. Our workshops, we do it right, and we do it with a lot of pride. See, these workshops have helped many people, and here's some of our testimonials, like myself. Like I told you, this workshop I'm a product of the workshop, and it helped me and my family to put me in a better position. But it also helped people like Patricia Campbell, who works as a financial analyst and for a Fortune 500 company. And she came in our campaign with over $10,000 in debt. She became debt-free within 20 months in our campaign, and she became a part-time educator. We also have people like Tiffany and Ishmael Herwood out of New York. And Tiffany works as an electrical engineer, and Ishmael works as a teacher. And these powerful couple here, they came in our campaign with a few credit card debts and was able to pay down more than 3 of their credit card debts and saved up over $5,000 in their emergency fund in less than 8 months. And they're part-time educators with us. We even have people like Valerie Bansu Tapsoba, who actually works as a municipal employee for the East Orange District in New Jersey. And let me tell you something. She joined our campaign thinking that everything was already set up for her and her family. And when she came to us and she sat down with us and started learning, she was like, wow, there's so much I need to learn and so much more I need to put in place. And yes, she also became a part-time educator. And now we all work together as a team to really go out there and empower families and educate them. So guys, I just want you to know that you're one decision away from changing the future for the better. So always remember that the choice is always yours. And one of the things I want to tell you is, guys, please get back in touch with the person that share with you this knowledge, and get back into touch with them and ask them, hey, how do I get a copy of that book? And also they will send you a survey card. So that way you can review that survey card and share with them what is that you want to learn more about and give them your feedback. So just to give you a little insight, let me share with you real quick about where we are with our National Financial Literacy Campaign. And this is our website. This is where we track how many families we have educated so far. So if you go to 30m.worldsystembuilder.com, you can always keep track of how far many families we educated, because World System Builder's 30 by 30 financial literacy campaign is a powerful campaign, and we want you to be a part of this. I want you to be able to say these lucky words. I am proud to be a part of the 30 million financially educated by the year 2030. And if you felt that you were educated by listening to this and going through this education session, then yes, you could be a part of this campaign of one more that was educated. So like I told you, by May 30th of the year 2020, we actually hit our 1 million educated. And then since May 30th of this year, we already educated 94,651 families. And we want you to be a part of the 30 million. So be a part of the campaign and let us know how we can help you. So with that said, guys, I thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, remember, you are one decision away from changing your future for the better. So always remember, the choice is yours. And I hope to see you at the top. God bless. Talk to you guys soon. My name is Keyon Corniffe, also known as Mr. Finance, your favorite financial educator. And I look forward to seeing you guys at the top. Until next time.